It's not a walkthrough, playthrough, review, anything like that. It's just me playing the game badly so you can see what it looks like. Okay then, this is UN Squadron. I don't think I've ever played it before. I don't know, I might have played it on another system perhaps. I don't know who I want to be. Let's be this geezer. He's got a beard though, you know. Greg Gates, why not? Select your whatever. The target is the frontline base, take blah blah. Don't care, just want to shoot things please. Forward attack. Oh, you got to have money for these, have you? Have I got any? Not much. We'll just go with that then, eh? That actually looks like an English electric... No, it's not an English electric lightning. Is that a Corsair? I don't know. I used to know about, like, military stuff and planes and things. Plus, whatever. Be careful now. Yeah. No, I'm just going to die. Thanks. So I have 3 cluster shots. I'm going to assume they're on the air. Whatever the other button, the one I haven't pressed yet. Give me that. You. Okay. This is very playable. Maneuverability and stuff is, whoops, pretty good. Extinct. What was extinct? Oh God! So your shield, oh God, your shield takes a major hit, but then it recharges a bit. Oh God! That's clever. Oops. Yeah, it's like you take a hit, and if you take another one very soon after, you're basically screwed. But then it recharges a bit, having lost some power, and then you die. Can we select it? I don't think we can do anything. We'll just... Yeah, okay. What's wrong with that guy's... What, really? Oh, it said what it was there, Crusader. Is that actually based on a real thing? Don't know, don't care. I probably should have picked up one of those things, but whatever. Oh, I don't need to hammer the fire button like I was. Oh, maybe I do. It sort of auto fires for a bit and then stops. Oh, I don't like the ground fire. It's, oops. It's harder to take out. Or it seems that way. I don't know, I mean, can you run into the ground? Not sure. Oh, you go away. We have no funny spinning power weapon thing. Oh God! Oh God! Crap! Oh! That stung a little. Oh God! Oh! Want that? I don't know what it is, but I want it. Oh, we have power-up thing. Oops, don't fly into the buildings. What now? We're going to get a boss. I think we're going to get a boss. There we go. Fly low. Oh crap. And don't fly into it. Oh. Okay, you can shoot the missiles, can you? That's... Whoops. It's handy if you can do it without dying. And what's this guy got on his forehead? I mean, I'd say has he met Zorro, but that would be a Z. I don't know. Hello, I seem to have more money than I had before. Definitely want this one. No, not really, but I don't think I've got any choice. What does that do? Conventional bomb. No, I think I want that. I don't know. Whatever, gimme. I still seem to have... Okay. Yeah, I'll have all of them. Don't know, no idea. We'll go. I seem to have money. I thought I'd started the game again, but it's like, did it just... I don't know. Seem to carry over the money from before. Is it from picking things up like that? Am I picking up chests full of gold? Maybe. That would be... Or did I actually complete a level? Because this... Is this different? I don't know. Oh, whoops, whoops. Oh, God. Ah. Yeah, definitely avoid the buildings. I don't think I've ever seen helicopters actually fly in formation like that. Oh. So didn't I pick up some bombs? Can I select my weapon? I don't know. Ah, oh, ow. Yes, you can select your weapon. With the shoulder button. Continue. Alright. Yeah. We'll have all of them. It probably somewhere on the screen tells me what weapon I've got. No. I'm wanting... Oh. I want to be able to select which weapon I use. Ah, okay, I can. Whoops. It's the button at the top. I can't look at it and tell you what button it is, but it's that one. It would be the triangle button if this was a PS, well, a PlayStation. What the hell? If this was, I'm gonna look. It's the X button. See how much I play Nintendo? Not much. Oh. Oh, bollocks. Yeah. I wish we didn't have to keep going through that bit. And this bit. It seems unnecessary. It's just like, start back at the start of the level, please. We know what we're doing, or what we want. We don't really know what we're doing. So what's this other weapon do? Mega Crush. I'll wait until I... Oh, God. Alright, but... oh. Okay, that's pretty cool. I haven't got any left now, so... whatever. It's a smart bomb of sorts, then. What are these? Ah. Oh! So my geezer's face at the top changes his expression when you take a hit. He looked like he was constipated for a moment. Need to eat more fruit, mate. Yeah, look at that. Oh! Oh, okay, give me... I thought I hit that thing. Oh yeah. That. Right. Oh God. Save me. Oh. Come on, die, you big... There. Yay. Danger, Will Robinson. Marvellous. This is just the beginning now. It's probably not. We're not going to get much further. And it's coming in. Scramble and chase them off. Chase them off? Shouldn't we just kill them? Oh, we've got big numbers now. Well, bigger. Well, we're going to stick with that plane because we can't afford another one. And have more of these. Okay. We'll be able to afford a new plane soon, maybe. Goodness. They're moving rather rapidly. Our firepower seems slightly more powerful, though really I doubt that it makes a whole lot of difference. Oops. Then what happens then? Is that a blackjack? Oops. I'm not so familiar with Soviet planes, but I'm aware that that was a kind of scary nuclear bomber that had NATO a little bit worried back in the 80s and such like. God, though I don't think they fired things like that thing's firing. Things called blackjacks and backfire bombers and what's that other one I'm trying to think of? There was this supersonic bomber, and it might have been the blackjack, that like it appeared at some air show and the whole of the West just crapped themselves because they hadn't got anything that could catch it, I think. Yeah, that might be what the English electric lightning was invented for, to intercept them. I could be wrong, I could be talking absolute bollocks. I've had enough now. It's not a bad game, it's actually quite good as a shooter. I'm irritated with this. It's like, come on, I lost a life, start the level again. I don't need to pick my plane and my weapons all over again. That seems unnecessary. But the actual shooting bit itself, pretty cool. I mean, there's a degree of repetitiveness, but you expect that in a shooter. It's like you fly along, you shoot things, you shoot a bunch of things, and then you shoot a bunch more things, and after you've shot them, you shoot some more things, and that's what shooters are like, because they're shooters. Okay, I'll shut up now. Thank you for watching. Okay then, today's question for Q&A is from Lee Price. Linked his channel down there, and he asks, for Q&A, what books or movies have left a great impression on you? It's actually a really difficult one to answer because I've read a lot of books and watched a lot of films, and some of them I watched or read a very long time ago. So while I know this is one of the books or films I want to use in my answer, remembering what actually happened in them is not so easy, but I can explain why they've left a good impression without actually going into the script, really. I'm going to start with books, because that's the bit I've thought about most. A Wizard of Earthsea and the Earthsea trilogy, the first 3 books. There were more that followed, but they didn't really do it for me in the same way. They're by Ursula K. Le Guin. I read The Wizard of Earthsea when I was in comprehensive. We'll call it high school. They don't call it that here. Comprehensive, big school, whatever. In the first year, it was the first book I read there. We got into was it for English lessons, or was it like form time when you weren't strictly in a lesson? But anyway, basically we had to read a book. Go and pick a book from the back of the class, read one of them. And I had never read a book before and didn't know... Someone knocking. Anyway, didn't know what I was into or anything, and so I just randomly picked that one, and I loved it. They've made a TV series of it, which I tried to watch and it just didn't really do it for me. It didn't look the way the book had looked in my head, not even close, not remotely. Far too normal, far too based in this world, where for me Wizard of Earthsea is not of this world at all, not in my head. I'm going to go into more detail about why I liked that in a minute, because I'm gonna group all of these three answers together. And none of them are actually single individual books. They're series of books, and there's more to them than that as well. Next is trying to think. Hold on, it's over there. Oh God. Excuse me a moment. By David Zindel, S.N.E.S. This was it a trilogy or two books? There's another one called The Wild. There was someone else, I'm sure. This was sci-fi, but it was something else as well. And I can't. Sort of sci-fi fantasy. There were a guy who had abilities, shall we say, mental power and something. It questioned the nature of reality, or it looked at the nature of reality in a particular way. There was something about it. The third series, in fact, I don't even remember how many books there were of this, because there was a first set of books and then another set of books that were telling a different story, but the first set of books were like, they led into the second set of books whilst being a completely different story. Anyway, Intervention by Julian May. And this was, again, it involved mental powers, psychic powers, telekinesis, mind reading, all kinds of fantastic powers and stuff. And then that led into alien intervention. Aliens came from space, many races I think, and stopped us from destroying ourselves. The thing about all of these books, because while the sci-fi fantasy thing is what drew me to them, what it is that's similar about all of them, that held my attention and that holds my attention now, makes me think these left an impression on me. It wasn't the science fiction. It was the moral and ethical and philosophical aspect of all of them. They made you look at the world in a different way. Think about the possibilities in terms of how reality and time work. Think about the way the mind, the human mind, works and how it might relate to the nature of reality. And I've done a series of videos on this on my other channel many years ago. But it's also, it goes into morals. Morals are a human construct anyway, but they're an important aspect of life. They made me look at they made me look at my own values, if you like. They made me look at life in general, how people behave, how I behave, how I look at the world. I think because the way I grew up, my family was a mess, and I had one set of values coming from one side, one set of values coming from the other. The two were very different, so I just rejected the whole damn lot because it was all bollocks. My mother was religious, still is. My dad was an arsehole, isn't anymore because he died. And so it was like, I just rejected everything from both, and it was like, I've got to find my own set of values, and I found those in books and comics, bizarre, but they were better role models to me, the characters that were in them, they were better role models to me than, than my parents were. So that's how that worked. The interesting thing about all of these books, despite the names David Zindel and Julian May, they were women, I believe. I've not actually done a great deal of research into them and who they were and what they were about or are about, but I'm pretty sure they were women. Certainly Ursula Le Guin was. I think she died actually. Could be wrong now. God, did you hear that? There's someone very heavy-footed upstairs. Yeah, they left a big impression on me. I mean, the actual storylines, I don't remember. But I remember it was all about values and philosophy and looking at how the world works and how people work within it. And they were really good and still are, and well worth reading if you're into that kind of thing. Other books. A Literary Outlaw. It's the biography of William Burroughs. Now, William Burroughs, Steve Benway, the name Benway, it's not my real name. Dr. Benway, a character in Burroughs' book Naked Lunch. Highly amusing, completely amoral, completely way out there, fucked up, mental nutcase. Highly amusing. Burroughs, I mean, Naked Lunch is obscene. And it's not an easy read. But anyway, I actually find William Burroughs' biography more interesting and more entertaining to read than his actual writing. I've read more than one biography of his, but A Literary Outlaw, and I know it's over there somewhere. I can't see it, so I can't tell you who it's by. No, wait, there it is. Ted Morgan. Yeah, that book. Just for pure entertainment and appreciation of how a guy's life can be so completely... It's like he had no fear or something. He had values. He sort of had morals in a certain... to a degree. But his outlook on life and the things he did were eye-opening, shall we say. And that book is just, again, it's a long while since I read it. I was about 22, 23, something like that when I read that. It was a long while ago. There are a few things from it that I remember that stick in my mind. One actually is his son. I don't remember what exactly had happened. He'd had an operation or something, and they'd stitched him up, and he'd gone home. Had he gone home, or was he in the hospital? But he was walking along when he shouldn't have, and his wound opened up, and all of his guts fell out, and he's walking along holding his guts in his hand or something, and just, was he drunk? Was he out of his face? Was he drugged? Don't remember. There was something about it, and he yeah, that scene sticks in my mind. It's very graphic. It's very detailed. It goes into a lot of stuff, and it's one of those things where reality is stranger than fiction. Certainly more readable than fiction. Brilliant book. Movies that have left an impression on me. Instant answer without even thinking about it is Blade Runner. I've said it before, and I don't know if people believe me or not, how many times I have watched Blade Runner without exaggerating, without lying, without wanting... Many people might think bullshit. I've watched Blade Runner over 1,000 times. How the hell can I do that? Autism. You get fixated on a thing. Blade Runner was the first film I ever bought on VHS. It was the only film I had for a long while. And I'd seen it on the telly and I loved it, so once I bought it, I watched it every day. Sometimes more than once a day. And I watched it every day for 3 years. And then at least once a week for several more years. So it didn't take me long to have watched it over 1,000 times. I stopped doing that. I probably did that for the first... Well, I bought it when I was about 15 or 16. Yeah, and got pretty obsessed about it. Now, I mean, there was time I could have quoted you every single line. I still know what's going to be said in any scene when it starts. I can say it as they say it. I couldn't necessarily say it before. I can't tell you exactly what's going to happen in the next scene, or sit and quote it line for line, the whole script, but I know what they're going to say when they say it. Yeah. I think the thing is, it's one of those films with so much detail, so much attention to detail. I was fascinated by the visuals of it, and I was always looking for something new, something I hadn't seen, especially on the street scenes. And also there's a thing that the attention to detail in the sets. I think it's in Deckard's apartment, there is a fixture. And I'm not sure what it's meant to be within the apartment, but I know what it is in the real world. It's a fan heater. And I know this because we had that fan heater in my family home back in the 80s. No, was it the 80s? Or was it the late 70s? Whatever. I mean, it must have been an old design by the time we got hold of it, perhaps. It looked kind of futuristic, but we had that fan heater. But it was maybe fixed in the wall or something or other in his apartment. It was a floor-standing thing. You know, it sat on the floor in our living room. Cool thing, and I just remember looking at it and thinking, oh damn, we got that, or had it, or something. White plastic, about that big. That's what that was. But it was details like that. I wanted to see every single detail, every object, every person, everything that happened in a street scene in that film. It actually bugged me, the Blu-ray, not the director's cut, the final cut. You see, I've seen 3 versions. I love the original theatrical version for the voiceover. I love the director's cut for getting rid of the stupid happy ending and for putting back in the dream sequence, because the film doesn't make sense without the dream sequence. You got to have the unicorn. You need it. Without, is it a unicorn? No, yeah, it is. You've got to have that because you can't get... It's a massive clue, and you need it because Blade Runner 20, whatever it is, the sequel, doesn't make sense without it. The real clue, the real thing about who Deckard is and what Deckard is, you can't get that without the dream sequence. It's essential, and that they took it out for the theatrical version was a bloody crime. And I also, in both of those, loved that there was a continuity error about how many replicants there were who escaped. And it doesn't match how many Deckard is looking for. And it enabled a couple of books. Couple of well, what's his name? Are they over there? Yes, K.W. Jeter, whatever. Blade Runners 2 and 3. And they were pretty much based on that continuity error. But in the final cut, they took that continuity error out. And that pissed me off. Because that was one of the things that fans of the film picked up on. Hold on a minute, where's the other one? And they also changed certain things in it. I mean, there were some things that were cool, slightly extended sequences and whatnot, but also where Roy Batty says, I want more life, Father. No. When you've spent like 30 years engrossed in this film and they just change one word. I get why they did it, but it's just wrong, because I want more life, fucker, is awesome. That is just so, and the way he says it, and you've got that ingrained in your head. So for them to change that to Father, I don't give a damn why they did it. It enrages me. I watch the Blu-ray version because video quality, just the quality of it, the visual quality is so much better. But I mean, my perfect version of Blade Runner, I would say it doesn't exist, except it does, because I made it myself. I combined using video editing software and VHS ripping software, and that's the problem. My best version is like a VHS rip. It's an edit of the theatrical version and the director's cut. So you get all the you get the voiceover, and you get the dream sequence, and you lose the stupid happy ending, and that's the best version, without the bloody changes of dialogue and fixing of continuity errors. Fantastic, fantastic film. That one, they should make that and put that on a Blu-ray. Really, I should get those two versions on DVD and rip them and have a better quality, but I haven't been able to rip a DVD in years. The program I used to do it didn't work on Windows 10. Whatever. Yeah, other films that have left an impression? No, I can't really answer that. There are other films that I really like, but have they had any kind of impact on my life in the same way? A Matter of Life and Death, starring David Niven. Yeah, the idea of like your life hanging in the balance where you should have died but you didn't. Just the concept of it, it sort of, I don't know. And there being the idea that there's someone there who you're aware of but no one else is aware of. It's sort of disturbing. Yeah, and what was it? Fried onions. He could smell fried onions whenever this character, was it an angel, sort of, with an Irish accent, I think. Yeah, whenever he was aware of that person being there, he could smell fried onions, and the surgeons were like, you've got a brain tumour, or whatever it was, and they're operating on him to save his life, but from his perspective, he's on trial for his life because he should have died and he didn't. Brilliant film. That one always kind of stuck with me. Again, it's one of those things about perceptions of reality and what is real and what isn't and stuff, and I'm fascinated by all of that. Okay, I could go on for hours and waffle and blather on. The difficult thing is, a lot of the films and books that really made an impression on me, they did that when I was young, in my teens, in my 20s, maybe even younger than that. Which means I know they left an impression, and I know what the impression was. What I don't remember is the actual details of the book or the film, because memory, blah. I'm old, I say it a lot. My memory is one of the things about hitting 50 is I'm a bit before hitting 50, or into my late 40s, I became aware that my memory is, I won't say it's failing, all of those memories are still in there, but to quote Brazil, information retrieval. The department is somewhat messed up in here, and I know I remember the stuff, but what I can't do is grab hold of it and retrieve it at will. It kind of pops up when it feels like it, and I will blank on something for ages. details of things, and more particularly names of people. Terrible, terrible for names. There's a thing. Yeah. It's worrying a bit. Partly just because my dad, he didn't die of Alzheimer's, but he was gone. There was no one in by the time he died, and I just think, is that going to happen to me? Don't like the thought. Anyway, on that somber note, if you've got any questions you'd like answering in a video like this, leave your question in the comments below. Begin with for Q&A, so I know not to answer it in the comments. And thank you for watching.
Ah, there you are. Have you finished polishing the silverware like I asked you? Yes? Splendid. Here's 50 pence. Now, go and click the subscribe button like a good peasant.